Good morning, everybody. Sorry for the wait. The mayor has some other news that I will let her make, but it's truly been a good morning. I think Leon's going to be coming up here in a second. My name is Samir Mayakar, and I'm so proud to serve as Deputy Mayor for Neighborhood and Economic Development. And we are here today to celebrate yet another Invest Southwest groundbreaking. So this morning makes me think back to 4 years ago when I was proud to co-chair Mayor Lightfoot's transition. And as a part of that report, there was an entire section that said we need to focus on a major initiative to enhance our commercial corridors on the south and the west side. And it was because of the mayor's leadership that we created Invest Southwest a little over 3 years ago. The mayor committed unprecedented resources to this initiative, and we stayed true to Invest Southwest despite facing a global pandemic and all the associated challenges that cities across the world faced. And I'm very proud to say that 4 years later, we've secured over $2.2 billion of investment commitments for 10 communities on the south and the west side. And if you just think about the Englewood corridor, and I'm sure Commissioner Cox will get into more detail on this, we groundbroke the Firehouse project right around the corner from here. We opened the Englewood Go Green Community Fresh Market. We've helped fund and transfer the property of the Regenerator. And then, of course, we helped secure unprecedented federal resources for the Englewood Trail. And those are just some of the investments here in the Englewood community. So it's wonderful to break ground on THRIVE Englewood, and we're doing so not only because of the leadership of the development team here, the partnership with the community, and of course, the tremendous support from all the agencies here in the city. We are also doing it because of the leadership of our mayor who made this possible. So please join me in welcoming up our mayor, Lori Lightfoot.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's always a pleasure to be here. I stood on the stage many times over the years to receive community feedback, to make announcements, and I'm happy to be here again at one of the jewels in our City College's constellation, and that's Kennedy King College. I want to thank the Kennedy King College family for welcoming us here once again. This is truly an important asset. I want to depart from the topic of the day to let all of you know, if you haven't heard it already, that we are honored and pleased to be the host committee for the Democratic National Convention in 2024. I just received the call this morning from Chairman Harrison. I told him he made my day, my week, my month, my year. But really, this incredible honor that President Biden and the DNC have bestowed upon Chicago is a testament to how we work together as a city government, as a cabinet, but also the folks at the United Center, McCormick Place, and demonstrating that we know how to come together as a city government and the private sector to make sure that we can pull off large-scale events, which we do as a matter of course. And our abilities will be on display again this summer for Memorial Day, for 4th of July, for NASCAR, for Lollapalooza, for Sueños, and for a number of community events across the city of Chicago. And it's because of the hard work and dedication of City of Chicago workers, City of Chicago leaders, that we not only are best in class in the country, but we've caught the attention of the President and DNC, and we are going to bring the convention here with our Midwest partners. It's going to be a tremendous experience, and we are going to activate the entire Midwest to make sure, and I'm biased here, that the Biden-Harris ticket gets reelected in 2024. Jobs, jobs, jobs is what this is about, and an ability to showcase our great city on an international stage. There's nothing finer than that. Now, back to the matter at hand. as Samir said, we came up with an idea, and really it was the thing that motivated me to run for office 5+ years ago, that we had to bring real equity and inclusion to disadvantaged, disinvested in neighborhoods on the south and the west side, that we had to operationalize the values of equity and inclusion. And that's precisely what we've done every step of the way. Now, it hasn't been easy. And sometimes going to community hasn't been well received. We've taken our lumps. But we've done it with a focus on making sure that we're doing everything that we can to be a partner and a facilitator of growth, of vibrancy, of safety, and hope in neighborhoods that have been deprived of all those things for far too long. And that brings us today to celebrate the groundbreaking of THRIVE Englewood. THRIVE Englewood is the latest project in Invest Southwest, and I want to begin by acknowledging Leon Walker and the folks at DL3 Realty for pioneering the development of not only this project, but the Englewood Square project that's just around the corner with the development of the Englewood Mall. Each of these projects serves Englewood by adding density and commercial activity that will promote a pedestrian-friendly, walkable corridor. So thank you to Leon and the DL3 team, but also all the partners here in Englewood for what you do every single day to make sure that we are doing everything we can to make Englewood thrive. Yes, that's a pun, but also to make sure that we turn around the narrative and the fortune of both parts of Englewood. We are proud to spur DL3's $40 million THRIVE Englewood project through the Invest Southwest investment or RFP process and support this project with multifamily loan funds, TIF funds, and low-income housing tax credits. Because we knew that this was an ideal project that can breathe life and answer community needs and spur economic activity in Englewood. The first phase will build 62 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Important because this isn't about individuals, this is about families and making sure they have a seat at the table. 51 of which will be affordable for households earning up to 60% of the area's median income. The second phase will construct 44 mixed income apartments, and both buildings will be served by a 65-space parking lot. Furthermore, the project will include tenant amenities and 2,500 square feet of ground floor retail spaces that are expected. Sir, you know what? You can have a moment to talk, but you will not be rude and you will not interrupt me. If you have something you want to say, you can say it after we're finished. But this is a space where we are here to celebrate. We're here to celebrate. We'll see what happens, sir. But you're not going to interrupt me and you're not going to be rude to all the people who are here that have worked hard. So take it outside, sir. Take it outside. That's right. You want to talk? You take it outside, sir, but you're not going to interrupt me. I'm not going to put up with that. Not going to happen. Furthermore, the project will include tenant amenities and 2,500 square feet of ground floor retail spaces that are expected to include casual dining. Designed by Perkins and Will, calls for a sleek and modern building with floor-to-ceiling windows in the apartments and glass storefronts, letting light into the lives of future tenants and beautifying this corner of our city. And finally, this development is importantly transit-oriented, ensuring that there are affordable and convenient transportation options for the residents of this building to access our entire city while increasing the walkability of our corridor. All in all, this is an exciting development for the residents of Englewood, who will need affordable housing, job opportunities, and vibrancy in their neighborhoods. And let me respond to the unfortunate and ill-advised comments that you just heard. 5 years ago, I walked in a back-to-school march here in Englewood, up Halsted and around the corner of 63rd Street and onto a local park. I remember it like it was yesterday. This extraordinarily hot day. And my team was asking me, well, how are you feeling? And they were worried about me in the heat. And I have to say what I said to them was, what I'm feeling is pissed off. Because what I saw on the faces of the people that lined the street, what I saw as we walked through the neighborhood, was a neighborhood that had been absolutely, fundamentally neglected for far too long. A neighborhood that was poor and struggling. A neighborhood that didn't have good housing stock, that didn't have grocery options. And what we've done from day one of my time as mayor is worked hard to turn around the fortunes of this neighborhood in partnership with the neighborhood. We have never gone into a neighborhood where we have not gone with our hand outstretched in friendship, with a humble heart and a listening ear. Everything that we've done in partnership was to uplift and to help realize the dreams of the local residents. Now, I know a lot has happened over the years in this community of Englewood, West and East Side. I know there are a lot of people who care passionately about their neighborhood, which is what is one of the neighborhood's great strengths. But the suggestion that somehow investment and making sure that there are affordability here is somehow a problem, and someone daring to threaten that something isn't going to be done on behalf of the city, shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you, sir. That's right. Take off. Just take off. Through the Community Development Grant Program, we are supporting the development of E.G. Wood Business Incubator in Englewood. This represents what Invest Southwest is all about. Not just delivering one singular project, but making sure that the transformation of our corridors is deep and real and consistent. These developments and enhancements taken together will ensure that Englewood residents have abundant opportunities to live, work, and play in their community. And of course, Englewood is not the only neighborhood that's experiencing the benefits of the historic investments and transformation. The first 5 RFPs that we broke ground on were Auburn Gresham Apartments, Englewood Connect, Austin United Alliance, Roosevelt and Costner, and United Yards. These 6 projects taken together total more than $220 million in investments. You can clap for that. Nearly 200 mixed income housing units, 58,000 square feet of retail space, 360,000 square feet of industrial space, pardon me. And more than 300 permanent jobs. Because Invest Southwest isn't just about the construction. It's about turning over these communities and realizing the dreams of community residents and making sure that they're a permanent job. Get him out of here. Goodbye, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I will apologize for his ignorance. And because really, folks, there are people who are wedded to a narrative about these neighborhoods that doesn't meet with the reality, doesn't meet with what's happening. And their livelihoods are built up on anger and protest. Well, good for them, but this is a new day in these communities because of the hard work of so many people in this room, and we're not going to be bowed or broken or silenced by ignorance. That's not going to happen. But I want to just say that we are proud to be here in Englewood and continue the work. And folks, the work has to continue. My time as mayor, as you know, is coming to an end. But as I've been saying to lots of folks, you don't need permission from any mayor, from City Hall, to continue to do what's right in community. The power in this city lies with each and every one of you. The conversation has to not be a supplication to the 5th floor. The conversation has to be a demand for your rightful access to resources. That's what this must be about. That's what this must be about. So no matter who sits in the 5th floor, no matter who sits in City Council, continue the fight. Do not allow anybody to turn back the clock to a time when neighborhoods like Englewood or Auburn Gresham or Roseland or neighborhoods on the west side, like Austin, West Garfield Park, have to be on bended knee, kissing somebody's ring, for them to be seen and heard and get the full measure of resources to which people in the city are entitled. We opened up a new chapter. We opened up a new door, a new avenue for power and motivating, but also building up capacity in communities. Shame on all of us if that changes and goes away on May 15th. That need not be the story of this work. It must continue. Thank you all. And now I welcome up Commissioner Maurice Cox, the visionary who has turned our dreams and aspirations into reality, to say a few words. Commissioner Cox.
Thank you, Mayor Lightfoot, and thank you everyone for being here. It's a beautiful day in Englewood. It is, and just a reminder of how important and how difficult this work that we've set out to do is. So I just want to thank you all for being a part of it. I was remembered when I walked into this room that it was on December 20th of 2019 in this very space where we kicked off Invest Southwest for Englewood. And we had hundreds of people working to try to identify where we should begin. And so it's so exciting to be here at another important milestone in that celebration. Actually, we're here to break ground on what is the second of two projects that were identified from our first round of requests for proposals that we released in August of 2020, just 8 months after that kickoff workshop. The first one that you heard about was the culinary hub, Englewood Connect. We started there because that's where the community asked us to start, to restore and repair this amazing firehouse that has been witness to decades and decades of demolition. And it is now being reimagined as a culinary hub that's just down the block from here. In that same request for proposals, there was another inspired proposal that has been christened THRIVE Englewood. That is the beginning of building out 63rd Street again as the main street of Englewood. And it is in fact reclaiming a bit of Englewood's history. Some of you may remember, I certainly am not old enough to remember when Englewood had the largest downtown outside of the Loop. This is where people came to shop. Englewood was home for 97,000 residents. They had their own theaters, their own stores. They had dense housing all here. And so our effort is that first effort to turn the tide, 62 new households, so we can stop looking at the decline of population in Englewood and we can start to grow it again and grow it in a manner that is inclusive. So this project for me is a project of repair, of restoration, of Englewood reclaiming its glory and setting the foundation not just for this site, but for this intersection and for the entire neighborhood. The parcel was Parcel C, and I think, they have a rendering. You can see how extraordinary it is what we've accomplished here. For me, this is an act of hope. This is an act of optimism. This is what the future of Englewood will look like. And the idea that a developer, Leon Walker, DL3, would go to get one of the best architectural firms in the city to design an affordable housing project is to be commended. People are saying this looks aspirational, and if this is what affordable housing looks like, if this is the future of affordable housing, the South and West Side will be one of the most beautiful places to live and to work. So design matters here, and I think for what it signals to Englewood residents, that they are valued, that they don't have to live outside of their community to live in a place like this. And this is our contribution, to just change the conversation about Englewood. I think it's important as well to know of the modern amenities that maybe Leon will talk a moment about some of the groundbreaking aspects of this project. They've included a pair of live-work units. This means that local entrepreneurs will be able to live and work and have their establishment in the same building as a part of the kind of changing face of 63rd Street, an important test case that we hope to see more of. The units themselves will have the modern amenities, the floor-to-ceiling glass. It's 6 stories. So it is a transit-oriented density that we build up around the L. So I'm excited about this proof of concept. It's bringing to fruition so many of the aspirations that we have heard from communities across the South and West Side. I just want to thank the mayor for allowing us to render in bricks and mortar her vision of this transformation of the South and West Side. I want to thank DL3 for being truly a partner in everything that we are trying to do, from who's going to construct this building to a leading African-American developer who is setting the tone for what development in equity and inclusion looks like in Chicago. And then, of course, I have to thank my own staff that have stuck with this project over many, many months. We have the amazing Lisa Washington sitting there, and Patrick Brutus, and the whole entire team at DPD. This is a wonderful moment for us all. So I want to bring next to the stage someone who has been an amazing advisor to me, a visionary, and has walked this journey and is proving to Chicago what development on the South Side and West Side looks like. Leon Walker.
It is a good morning. So good morning to all of you. Election season brings some good and some bad. Change is in the air, but so are arguments that put forth a false choice, a false dilemma, where we have to choose between 2 extreme sides. For example, many say we cannot have luxury, affordable housing with premium amenities and affordable rents. Well, Thrive Englewood is about just that. And I'm proud to work with Mayor Lori Lightfoot and her team to bring the first modern multifamily housing investment to Englewood in over 75 years. This has been a long, long, long time coming. Our world today is facing unprecedented challenges. Persistent poverty, social inequality, intractable debt, COVID-19, climate change, artificial intelligence, population loss and pollution and environmental concerns. These challenges are widening the divide between developed and developing communities, between neighborhoods of first choice and neighborhoods of last resort. Today, government and our people are faced with a difficult challenge, a hard choice to make between growth and equity, between preserving affluence and eliminating disparities. For the last 4 years, while the world as we know it has been turned upside down, pandemic, now a war, economic downturn, the Lightfoot administration has not only resisted the false choice presented by many on both sides of our city's cultural and economic divide, but key policy initiatives such as Invest Southwest, an unprecedented investment in affordable housing with Black and brown developers like never seen before, has shown us that there's another way, a third way forward, a third option, and the power of and, A-N-D. And is better than no. So no doubt, it's not about choosing between our downtown and our neighborhoods. Mayor Lori Lightfoot said we can do both. Not just about building the least expensive and uninspiring housing, but Commissioner Cox advocated for design excellence and a new language around walkable communities. Thrive Englewood represents award-winning design and affordability. This development gives me hope that we will abandon the tired old talk and false choices of have and have-nots, of North Side and South Side, of Black and white communities. We are one Chicago, where dignity and equal opportunity can coexist. No, must coexist. As Harold Washington said, we are one people and one Chicago. Now let's get going.
And so now we're inviting Tanya to the table, to the microphone.
Good morning. I'm Tanya Kadakia, Director of Partnerships and Residential Investments for DL3 Realty Advisors. And I am so thrilled to be here at the groundbreaking of Thrive Englewood. I was going to tell you a little bit about the project, but the commissioner and the mayor have described it so well, there's just no point, and that just thrills me to pieces that they're so involved in this deal. Thrive Englewood was 2.5 years in the making. It's an Invest Southwest project, and we worked so hard and so long with so many fabulous people at the city, including housing, planning, buildings, zoning, the mayor's office. It was a real team effort, and I appreciate absolutely everybody who helped with this project. Furthermore, I'd like to thank our financing partners, Fifth Third Bank, Enterprise Community Investments, IFF, and ComEd for all your perseverance as this project moved along through a very complex time in the economy with COVID-related construction escalation and materials that couldn't be priced and all kinds of issues. But here we are. I also want to absolutely call out Perkins and Will for your beautiful design, Brook Architecture, Cullen Construction Management, and Pioneer, DBHMS, and so many of the engineers and other professionals who've worked on this project. And we are very excited to begin construction with BOA, who will deliver the project in the fall of 2024. On a personal note, I'd like to say how proud I am to have participated in an Invest Southwest project with the great vision and leadership of the mayor, Commissioner Cox, and Commissioner Navarra. Invest Southwest will permanently change the way Chicago neighborhoods are, bringing jobs, housing, and a great move forward, because Chicago has to be one Chicago for everybody. I've spent my career in housing and community development because I believe that we all rise together. Finally, I want to say thank you to Leon for his confidence in bringing me in to lead this effort for him in this new line of business, our housing line. I'm really thrilled to be here, and I thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. That was solid. My name is Asia Bonner, and I'm here on behalf of the Chicago Department of Housing as the project manager for THRIVE Englewood, and I too am extremely thrilled to be here to celebrate the triumph that today's groundbreaking represents for the community of Englewood and for the standard that THRIVE sets for the future of affordable housing. And I'm also excited about what this project means for livability in the city of Chicago. Regretfully, the Department of Housing Commissioner Marisa Navarra is not able to join us this morning, and in fact, as we speak, she's at the Committee on Housing and Real Estate championing for more developments like THRIVE, but she sends her warm congratulations to the people of Englewood, and she is deeply, deeply proud of this project. Now, as others have mentioned, we all recognize that we are living in extraordinary times. A time when, frankly, it's very expensive to be alive. We feel and see signs of that pressure everywhere we turn, from our grocery bill to the gas pump to trying to simply keep a roof over our heads. With this groundbreaking, we are commencing construction for a $40 million investment in Englewood that will bring, as others have mentioned, 62 new units of housing, ranging from 1 to 3 bedrooms, and for a minimum of the next 30 years, 52 of those 62 units of housing will be held affordable for households that are low income and very low income. THRIVE will also include ground floor retail and 2 live-work units that we talked about, which provides affordability for workspace and housing for local entrepreneurs. And it will do all of this while offering transportation alternatives to the gas pump, because it's up the street from the Green Line. And I took it here this morning, and it was smooth. But for the Department of Housing and our community partners, this development is not just about units built. Plopping down housing in places that are far from opportunity, far from resources, and far from transit makes what is already an expensive time to be alive even more costly. And it's counter to our goals to combat hypersegregation, dislocation, and car-centered development. The city's investment in THRIVE Englewood, which includes $17 million in DOH multifamily financing and $1.5 million in low-income housing tax credits, represents the city's commitment to supporting connected, cohesive communities where residents are a stone's throw from food and retail options, the incredible resources here at Kennedy King College, and of course, connection to the rest of the city with the Green Line and 63rd Street bus. THRIVE was selected in our 2021 funding round at DOH and was one of 12 equitable transit-oriented developments located in the south or west sides chosen, and is among the first to reach this groundbreaking milestone. And I also just want to explain quickly for those who aren't familiar with the equitable transit-oriented development concept, that refers to an approach to development that enables people, regardless of income, regardless of race, regardless of ethnicity, age, gender, immigration status, or ability to experience the benefits of dense, mixed-use, pedestrian-oriented development near transit hubs. And we know the power and the impact that has on economic mobility, health outcomes. So celebrating Thrive, we celebrate two things. One, the end of a long and complex road to get to this groundbreaking. And two, the fact that Thrive Englewood is a culmination and embodiment, as others have said, of several years of value-driven planning. And so really quickly, I just want to shout out my prolific colleagues in the Department of Housing, some of whom are here today, my colleagues in the Department of Planning, all my cross-sector partners in the Equitable Transit-Oriented Development Work Group for how our collective efforts have had a tangible impact on how we fund and carry out development in Chicago. Finally, I want to commend Leon Walker for your commitment to bringing investment into the South Side, and I want to congratulate you, Tanya, Andrew, Yasmin, and the entire DL3 team for making Thrive Englewood a beautiful exemplar of not just housing, but of what a connected, cohesive community looks like. And now it's my honor to invite to the stage another champion of cohesive, connected communities, NHS Chicago CEO, Anthony Simpkins. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So I actually remember when Englewood was a thriving neighborhood, over 100,000 residents, and a Halstead commercial strip that literally rivaled downtown. My grandmother used to tell me they didn't need to go downtown, they just went over to Halstead. My first law office was actually about where the mall is now. And despite the intervening years of black population loss, foreclosures, demolitions, the proliferation of vacant properties, Englewood is on the rise again. There's been significant public and private investment in Englewood, which we've talked about this morning for the past few years, including the revitalization of the mall, the Englewood Trail that's coming, new senior developments, the Fresh Market, the firehouse, as the mayor mentioned, the regenerator. It's unprecedented. Englewood also has a proud and engaged residents and strong community organizations like RAGE and Grow Greater Englewood and Teamwork Englewood to ensure that that momentum continues. NHS of Chicago has worked in partnership with those organizations as well as businesses, government, and neighborhood residents in Englewood for years to develop and support the vision of a revitalized Englewood and to bring homeownership resources to residents that need them to realize that vision. At NHS, our focus is, in fact, building wealth for families and communities through the power of homeownership. As an aside, I've been around a while. Looking at my colleagues at the Department of Housing, where I worked for a long time, Department of Planning and Development before that, and I've been around through a few mayors. But we're looking at Leon Walker, Tory Barrett, Zeb McFarland, Bill Williams, A.J. Patton. I have never seen a commitment to South and West Side development and also to the development of developers of color ever. This is unprecedented. This is unprecedented, and I'm so proud that NHS is a partner in this Invest Southwest effort, and particularly partnering with Leon Walker and DL3 Realty in the Thrive Englewood development, which is itself an unprecedented multi-million-dollar investment in housing, jobs, and amenities for Englewood. So thank you, Mayor, for your vision of investment, real investment in neighborhoods like Englewood through Invest Southwest, and for Leon and DL3 for taking on the challenge of bringing that investment back to Englewood. We all want to see Englewood return to being a thriving neighborhood of choice. And with this development, we are well on our way to realizing that vision. So thank you. Thank you.
All right, well, it's time to break some ground, so we'd like to invite you all to the tents on the site where we're going to have a reception, some music, and we will be breaking ground. And I have to also make sure we recognize Building Commissioner Matt Baudet, because now this baby comes to you, Matt. All right, thanks everybody.